The happiest people on earth are unmarried women who don't have children.
Why are unmarried childless women so happy? Let's talk about it. A professor at the London School of Economics found that these women had a couple of reasons for why they were so happy. The first was that they had really strong bonds with people outside of their romantic relationships, meaning they had friends. Secondly, they also had more control over their time. They had more control over their lifestyle. The study also found that men do incredibly well when they're married. Married men showed really high levels of life satisfaction, and they did better health-wise, mentally and physically, and emotionally, whereas women who were married and had children did not. What's up with that discrepancy? One of my theories is that women tend to run a household alone. A lot more women are working a full-time job, and they're also taking on household work. There's also social network erosion. We're lonelier than ever before. We might feel unsupported and unfulfilled.
According to Business Insider, women who are unmarried and childless are the happiest people of all. Paul Dolan, a professor of behavioral science at the London School of Economics, do a little bit of research, right? All it took for me to find this information was a Google search. So before you talk into your mic, research.
Oh, I've done my research. And boy, can I not wait to get into this lie and debunk it once and for all, right? So you might have seen many of these modern women today, these ditzy broads, these gullible fools, parroting this lie that unmarried and childless women are so much more happier than married women with children. And it was written by an author named Paul Dolan. There he is right here. And this lie that he peddled in his book has since been debunked many times. But you still hear these women peddling this foolishness, making themselves look so ignorant. So ignorant. Even as they sit there and go, research, I did mine. Well, clearly you didn't do enough, because this has been debunked not only by many institutions, but many leftist sites too. So here we are on Vox. Vox is probably one of the most hardcore, lefty, hardcore, woke-ass sites that you will find online next to the New York Times and the HuffPo. So, Vox had to retract. So, they had to refute what Mr. Dolan said here, which is a wokey book writer, author, that told these women that if you don't have children, if you never get married, you're going to be the happiest of them all. No. So let's dive into this, shall we? It's called this from Vox, again, a leftist website. A new book says married women are miserable. Don't believe it. This is Vox. Says, many books aren't fact-checked. Well, duh. And we're increasingly realizing that they're full of errors. Oh, you don't say. So, says happiness researcher Paul Dolan made a splash with the claim that married women admit they're miserable once their spouses leave the room. It was based on a lie. Okay? This dude purposely misread the data in... Okay, let's just go on with this. Last week, a shocking claim about happiness made the rounds in the press, from The Guardian to The Cosmopolitan to Elle to Fox. Women should be wary of marriage, it says. Oh, it says the claim? What is the claim that Paul Dolan said? Wrote, it's that women should be wary of marriage, because while married women say they're happy, they're lying. According to behavioral scientist Paul Dolan, promoting his recently released book, Happy Ever After. That is the book that all of these Chelsea Handler wannabes are all picking up and like holding like the holy grail of their hedonistic lifestyle. They'll be much happier if they steer clear of marriage and children entirely, says the book. Married people are happier than other... Okay, so it's saying that married people are happier than other population subgroups, but only when their spouse is in the room, when they're asked how happy they are. When the spouse is not present, they're effing miserable, Dolan said, citing the American Time Use Survey, a national survey available from the Bureau of Labor Statistics and used for academic research on how Americans live their lives. What is the problem with this? What is the problem with Mr. Paul Dolan's claim? The problem is that the finding is the result of a grievous misunderstanding on Dolan's part of how the American Time Use Survey actually works. The people conducting the survey didn't ask married people how happy they were and then shoo their spouses out of the room to get the truth. No, they didn't even do that. Dolan had misrepresented one of the categories in the survey, which said, quote unquote, spouse absent, which refers to married people whose partner is no longer living in their household, as meaning the spouse. And then he tried to misinterpret it as the spouse stepped out of a room. Oops, says the article. The error was caught by Gary Kimbrough, an economist at American's University School of Public Affairs, who uses the survey data and realized that Dolan must have gotten it wrong. Dude, you think this dude got it wrong, or did he twist it to support his narrative? Many of these leftists do that. Not saying he is. I'm not saying he isn't, right? But many of these people will do stuff like that to support a narrative based on a lie. But nobody bothers to fact check them because so many of these platforms and websites are owned by lefties. But I'm shocked Vox is doing it. I mean, it must have been a really egregious error for them to do this. So this guy who called him out, Gray Kimbrough. Sorry, his name's Gray Kimbrough. I've done a lot with time use data, Kimbrough told me. And it's a phone survey. The survey didn't even ask if a respondent's spouse was in the room. So here you could see him on his Twitter. He says, I'm no happiness expert and don't have strong ideological feelings about whether everyone should be getting married or not, but I have done a ton of research with the American Time Use Survey, ATUS, which he said he based his statements on and felt the claims that Paul Dolan made were weird. They did not make sense, in other words. So he goes on to say, I'm not going to read all of it, but he says, first of all, there's a statement that when a married woman's spouse is not in the room, she's effing miserable. I know that this information isn't included in the ATUS, so I reached out to him. He has since retracted the statement and will correct it in his book. Sure. Says Dolan confirmed to me by email, we did indeed misinterpret the variable. And then he tried to cover it, saying some surveys do code whether people are present for the interview, but in this instance it refers to present in the household. I have contacted the Guardian, who have amended the piece, and my editor so that we can make the requisite changes to the book. The substance of my argument that marriage is generally better for men than for women remains. So he's saying it's marriage is generally better for the man than it is the woman. But Kimbrough, this guy who called him out in the first place, disputes that too, arguing that Dolan's other claims also fall apart with a cursory look at the evidence, as he told me. So he's basically saying that that's what you're saying is not based on the evidence, the data, the research, or the statistics, dude. Stop trying to paint a false narrative. He's like doing a logical fallacy over here. And then Gray goes on to call him out again on looks like Twitter, yeah. The citation in that second paragraph crucially does not say that there are no benefits to women marrying, only that they are not as large as benefits to men. An older article he cited earlier claims that unmarried women have 50% higher mortality rates than married women. next, so he's continuing to call this dude out, as they should. I just wish more people would call out these wokies and these lefties trying to tell women these lies that, oh, you're better off not getting married or having kids. So Gray goes on to say, yo, next, the claim that you made that the happiest and healthiest population subgroup are women who have never been married or had children. The American Time, the ATUS lacks data on ever having children, but I can compare never ever married with and without children in the household. This doesn't back up his claim. So he's basically saying, dude, you're wrong again. You put this book out that you have all these dumb ditzy broads now parroting, even though this was retracted very quickly after he released the book. These chicks don't bother to do any further research. It's like, oh, he trust the science, babe, trust the science. Ooh, like the other chick in the TikTok we featured earlier in the video, like, oh, trust the science, trust the science. Yeah, you trust the science up until it goes against your narrative, just like the pandemic, just like the Roni, just like the shot. Yeah, up until then, no, don't trust the science. This is, or when it comes to gender, what about the science of that? No, that's a gender construct. That's a social construct. This is only the most recent example of a visible trend, Vox says. Books by prestigious and well-regarded researchers that go to print with glaring errors. You hear that, ladies? Glaring errors, which are only discovered when an expert in the field, or someone on Twitter these days, gets a glance at them. In May, author Naomi Wolf learned of a serious mistake in a live on-air interview about her forthcoming book, Outrageous: Sex, Censorship, and the Criminalization of Love. In the book, she argues that men were routinely executed for sodomy in Britain during the 1800s. But as the interviewer pointed out, it appears she misunderstood the phrase death record in English legal documents. She thought it meant a person had been executed when it actually meant that the death penalty had been deferred for their whole natural life. That meant that the executions, she said in her book, never actually occurred and never actually happened. But what? These wokies and ditzy dumb broads will believe it because it supports my narrative. Trust the science. Trust the science. Climate change. Earlier this year, former New York Times editor Jill Abramson's book, Merchants of Truth, is this another wokey book? Merchants of Truth. Was discovered to contain passages copied from other authors and alleged to be full of simple factual errors as well. And around the same time, I noticed the statistics in the New York Times Magazine and in Clive Thompson's upcoming book Coders was drawn from a study that doesn't seem to actually exist. Trust the science. Trust the science. Get the jab. People trust books. Unfortunately, when they read books by so-called experts, they often assume that what they're reading is serious and carefully verified as scientific papers, or at least that there's some vetting in the process of writing these books. But often that faith is misplaced. There are no good mechanisms to make sure books are accurate, and that's the problem. Unbelievable. I mean, this just goes on to further call out the dude. It's just saying that academic culture is already changing to address the problem. No, they're not. They're continuing to promote lies, especially to these women, to make them believe this fantasy that they could be single, sleep around with men from the dating apps, take them home, bang them, there's no repercussions, the DNA, the sperm doesn't stay with them for the rest of their lives or affect their offspring. When it does, trust me, I just did a video on this. All the research backs it up. But this is also saying, just in closing on this one article alone, in the meantime, don't trust shocking claims with a single source, even if they're coming from a well-regarded expert. Well, I wouldn't call this dude well-regarded anymore. It's all too easy to misread a study and all too easy for those errors to make all the way to print. Again, they're assuming that he did it by accident. I just don't trust lefties, man. And this is the dude right here. This is a little Twitter thing. He's got these photos with the pink, and all you have to do is like research these people, go on Google and type in their names and see what narrative they're supporting to get to the, if you want to find out who they really are. Here he is, what is he doing here? Talking about the hierarchy, dismantling the hierarchy. I mean, this all sounds pretty woke to me. I mean, you don't even have to look very far. His latest post is about, one of his latest posts. It's an effing mystery why some people are offended by swearing used as a means of emphasis. Context matters. That's because if you're a professional and a professor, as he claims to be, you shouldn't need to use or resort to curse words in order to get your point across, right? Because cursing and swearing, it comes from an emotional place, right? So if you can't make your argument without your emotions, then you're just really succumbing to your own biases, right? Your emotional biases. This is why you don't hear me curse almost in any of my videos, right? I don't drop F-bombs. I'm not, constantly dropping 4-letter words or anything like that, because I could get through my content without it, because I'm trying to stay factual, right? And trying to keep my biases out of it, and especially my emotions, right? I don't trust people who act on their emotions. You shouldn't. I mean, you shouldn't even trust yourself when you act on emotions. Like when you go buy a car or house or, anything, right? It's always a bad decision you're making when you're based on emotions. So this dude saying, oh, why does it matter? I should be able to say F this, F that, because you're claiming you're this highly regarded author. To me, you're just a foul-mouthed idiot who manipulates and twists data and uses it to your benefit, much like the wokies do. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. Okay, so that was the article from Vox. Here's another article from The Guardian. There were just so many of these popping up, but as the black woman was saying earlier, do your research, do your research. Yeah, maybe you should do yours too, right? This one from The Guardian says, women are happier without children or a spouse, says happiness expert. Apparently this dude is where is he? This dude is a happiness expert. He doesn't look very happy to me. Does the guy look happy to you? He's like cursing up a storm over here going, it's a effing mystery why some people are offended by swearing used as a means of emphasis. Context matters. This dude don't look happy to me. He looks like a wokie. I don't know any wokies are happy.
Where luck has played a big part has been in some sense that I haven't been resilient.
The limey. Yeah, he's wokey. So yeah, this dude does not look like a happiness expert. But because these women want to believe whatever makes them feel good, right? And they don't want to hear the truth. They're never going to want to read up on any of this and do their own research, right? So this article, women are happier without children or a spouse, says happiness expert. Behavioral scientist Paul Dolan, this dude, of course, says traditional markers of success no longer apply. And the article goes on to say, we may have suspected it already. This is before he retracted it. This is before he got busted. This is before your ass got freaking called out, right? By somebody who actually did the research. We may have suspected it already. Oh, it says here in the photograph, unmarried, childless women have never had it so good, according to Paul Dolan's research. Yeah, unmarried, childless women have never had it so good. I mean, you don't even need to fact check this stuff that much. I mean, you could just go to Twitter, TikTok, and see the same videos that I do of these older, childless, unmarried women absolutely miserable. I don't see a bunch of married women with children on TikTok complaining about their lives. No, it's always unmarried and childless women, right? You could just look at observational reality and come to the conclusion that being childless and unmarried is probably going to lead to a life of unhappiness, bitterness, and buying books from dudes who look like this. Okay, it says, we may have suspected it already, but now the science backs it up. Here we go. Trust the science. Trust the science. You mean this dude who made false claims, who misinterpreted data? Yeah, let's trust him. This is why people don't trust doctors anymore. People don't trust scientists anymore. We just don't believe it because for us, it's just a bunch of bull jive, right? It's just a bunch of garbage. We don't believe it because we know that you're pushing a narrative, right? You're pushing wokeness. You don't want to get to the truth. You want lies. So it says, we may have suspected already, but now the science backs it up. Unmarried and childless women are the happiest subgroup in the population, and they are more likely to live longer than their married and child-rearing peers, according to a leading expert in happiness. And the bad part about this is if we go down further and further, you see this little blurb right here, which I'm going to highlight. It says, this article was amended on May 30th, 2019 to remove remarks by Paul Dolan that contained a misunderstanding of an aspect of the American Time Use Survey data. That's a heck of a way to word the fact that he promoted something that was misinformation, not true. Okay? So, yeah, this article was amended, it says here. That means none of it was true. So why is this article still standing? You know where they should put this little amendment of theirs? You know where they should put it? That's Cash, by the way. They should put this amendment at the top of the article, like up here. Up here. They should put a big highlight and go, hey, this article's not true, right? That's all they should do. So, all of these ditzy, woke broads on TikTok who are like, oh, trust the science, do your research, have women, unmarried women without children are happiest. You really need to get outside of just lefty websites, and you need to poke around here. So let's see. Let me see what else I can show you here. Okay. Here's from the Catholic News Agency. Are single women actually happier? Study misinterprets the data, researchers say. I am so glad. As soon as this dude's book got published, it seems like he was already getting called out over this lie, because you had so many of these ditzy, dumb, gullible broads out there parroting this stuff, and people, and like actual researchers and actual people who are honest were scratching their heads going, no, we need to fact check this. And because Twitter is now owned by Elon Musk, we get to fact check stuff. We get to fact check the other side. It's not just one way. So yeah, this just goes on to refute his claims as well. And then there's even more. Yes, married mothers really are happier than unmarried and childless women. And this one is as recent as 2022. I mean, you could do a simple Google search, as this black woman was saying earlier. And I typed in Google, single women without children are happier than married women. Debunked, right? And the first result says unmarried, childless women are not happier, nor are their lives more exciting, nor are their lives more richer when compared to their married peers. That means married women. Instead, married women are happier than unmarried women at all stages of life. Identical. Reminds me of my cousin Vinny. Married, let me read it again. Married women, this is an actual study, ladies. Not your wokey author here, Paul Dolan, but this is an actual study saying married women are happier than unmarried women at all. Yes, I'm saying all, just as this study says. All stages of their lives, regardless of whether or not they have children. That's another big one. The married woman doesn't even need to have kids. She is still happier than her unmarried peers at what? What? At all stages of life. You hear that? Boom. Okay? All stages of life, ladies. Not just the beginning stage, not the end of life, not the middle stage. No, all stages of life. All your friends, all your little girlfriends that got married and don't want to talk to you anymore because you're slutting it up out in the streets, taking your trips with your girlfriends, or going to happy hour and banging dudes from Tinder and Bumble. No, they don't want anything to do with you because they are much happier than you. Okay, so while you're on TikTok on a Friday and Saturday night complaining about how Chad yacked up inside of you and has ghosted you, or complaining about how none of these guys want to date me anymore. They're all going for 22-year-olds, my granddaughter's age, and nobody wants anything to do with me. You remember that because your married peers that are your same age that you went to high school and college with, no, they're at home with their families, their children, their husband, and even if they don't even have children, they're still happy, right? They're still happy with being married because they have a ring on their finger. And you know what? You don't. You have something that they want, which is what? A ring on the finger. Okay. And here's another study from the Institute for Family Studies. This one was highlighted. I did not highlight this. It says unmarried, childless women are not happier, nor are their lives more exciting or richer when compared to their married peers. Instead, married women are happier than unmarried women, again, at all stages of life, regardless of whether or not they have children. Not only that, but wait, there's more. Married women also live more exciting lives than their unmarried peers in their prime years and accumulate much more wealth than unmarried women as they age. That means you, unmarried woman, hater in my comments, you're going to continue to be more and more broke as your girlfriends who did get married are going to continue to accumulate wealth. Why? Because they have a husband who's giving them financial guidance. They have a husband that they're a teammate with, they're building with. So they accumulate more and more wealth, you know. I mean, and not only that, it's like when it comes to the weekends, you have an automatic best friend, dude. You go out together, you go to movies together, you know, you go to the beach together, you take the dog for walks together. You have all these sorts of things that you can do together. And if you ever want to break away, hang out with your girlfriends while he hangs out with the boys, you can do that too. Does that mean you go clubbing and go partying? No. No, it just means you go hang out with your own friends for a little bit. Then you come home, you hang out together again, right? I can't even believe that this dude tried to tell these ditzy single childless broads that they're going to be happier with being alone, you know, and working in a cubicle their entire lives and being childless and banging dudes from the dating apps and sitting alone on a Friday, Saturday night by themselves complaining on TikTok how the guy who just banged them ghosted them. I mean, you got to be a real dumbass to believe. I mean, this dude doesn't even look believable, man. I mean, it's just so sad to me how gullible women are and how stupid they could be. I mean, not all women. I'm talking about these women who are like parroting this stuff, going, childless unmarried women are happier than married women with children. No, that just, no, dude. No. That's like saying like a fat person is happier than a person who's fit and goes to the gym every day and eats healthy. Like, no, man, he's not happy. He's not happy that he's having to go to the gym every day and eat healthy. I'm happy. I get to go to Taco Bell every day and eat myself to death and look at my belly and not get dates. And I'm happier. Unbelievable. But as always, guys, I'm just so glad we finally get to debunk this lie, because I'm tired of hearing it from all these dumb, ditzy, gullible broads on TikTok claiming this lie that married women are miserable when it's been debunked. It was debunked almost as soon as this dude's book came out. And I mean, it's insane that these women didn't bother to do an ounce of research. And what's even more insane is all the guys around them that were too afraid to tell them the truth. Because, you know, the guys probably Googled this as well and like, oh, sorry, girl, you're being told a lie. No, these simps didn't even want to be honest with them, right? Because they're trying to get laid. But guess what? I'll be honest with them. M will be honest with them. The 33 Secrets will be honest with them, as we always are here on the 33 Secrets YouTube channel, man. You know, that's what I'm here to do, man. Debunk the lies of the woke mob. Debunk the lies of feminism. Debunk the lies of the blue pill. Debunk the lies that are coming from the Matrix, the establishment, and friggin' dudes like this. All right. As always, gentlemen, drop your comments below. Let me know if there's anything you'd like to add in the comments, anything you'd like to share. Go ahead and share them in the comments below. And I can't wait to see you there, especially on this one, man. If you've known any coworkers of yours or any females or even some family members tried to spread this lie, now you can send them this video. We totally debunked it. Totally dunked on them. Totally dunked on them and this author and all of those chicks who are still parroting this crap. Drop the comments below. Until next time. Drop those comments below, guys. I'd love to hear them. And till next time, this is M from the 33 Secrets. Don't forget to smash that like button below. Go ahead and smash it right now. Do it for the DeLorean. Smash that like button below. Also, hit that notification bell right next to it so you're notified whenever I release a brand new coaching video here on the YouTube. More importantly, guys, please make sure you subscribe to my channel. Helps me out a ton when you guys actually subscribe to my channel. So please make sure you're subscribed to my channel as well. And for all you guys who want to support my work and all of this red pill, gold pill, and platinum pill content that I am teaching you even further, the best way to do that is by jumping into my monthly online coaching program, 7 Months to Mastery, where I am teaching guys just like you how to go out there and approach and close. Thank you. This car gets so much attention, it's crazy. How to go out there and approach and close the youngest, hottest, and most beautiful looking women on the planet. I'm talking about 8s, 9s, and 10s. The same exact type of women that I teach my students all over the world to go out there and approach and close. And we're making it happen every single week, guys. I kid you not, every single week, all over the world, no matter what kind of pandemic is going on, no matter what kind of virus is going on, we are making things happen and continuing to live our lives 24/7, 365 days a year. And I want you to join us. And it's the best way to support my work as well. So you're killing 2 birds with 1 stone there. And it's real easy to get signed up. All you need to do is click that link below in my description box. It will take you over to my website where you can get signed up right now. It just takes 2 seconds. So do that now, and I will see you in my next coaching video. All right, my hightail out of here. Yeah, it's really difficult to shoot in this car, guys. It just gets so much attention, but I've been getting a lot of requests from you guys like, hey, shoot vids while you're driving. And I'm like, okay, A, that's dangerous, but I'm keeping my eyes on the road. I've got the camera kind of like mounted to my windshield right now. But B, the biggest reason is it's really hard to shoot in this car with people like honking and waving and whipping out their cell phone cameras like, oh my gosh, it's DeLorean. Yeah, so until next time.